Hello guys. So today we are going to read and understand about the pleasure of walking tall. This is a one association rule book for being a financially independent person. So the increase in our savings will certainly help us in lot many ways. There is an interesting note on the benefits of savings written in 1969 and published by the first Federal Savings and Loan Association of St. Petersburg, Florida. I would urge you to go through this at a leisure as each statement is so valuable and appropriate even during this time. So this first Federal Savings and Loan Association of St. Petersburg has given certain rules for a man to be financially independent, and it will tell you more clearly what it's going to help and how it's going to help. Your savings, believing it or not, affect the way you stand, the way you walk, the tone of your voice. In short, your physical well being and confidence. That's always true. Your savings will define how you behave. That's very important. A man without savings is always running. He must take the first job offered, or nearly so. He sits nervously on life's chairs because any small emergency throws him into the hands of others. This is always true because you can see the new freshers who are coming directly into the job after their uh, degree. Their first instance they get a job irrespective of what kind of job, what kind of company is offering, and what is the difficulties and the strength of the company and strength of the person. They will not see anything immediately, they'll jump to get the job because they do not have savings, they are not well worth with their money. So without savings a man must be too grateful. Gratitude is a fine thing in its place, but a constant state of gratitude is a horrible place in which to live. So when you don't have enough money for your life, for your living, for every small thing which is helped by other people, you'll be grateful. You can see beggars, how they will be grateful for your small acts, even if you donate 10 rupees, the way he act, the way he look at you. So don't be a beggar in the first place. A man with savings can walk tall. He may appraise opportunities in a relaxed way, have time for judicious estimates, and not be rushed by economic necessity. See, in the financial independence rules, first rule is always have your 3 months to 6 months of expenses in your savings account or as a FD, so that if any emergency situations you lose your job or you are not able to get your paycheck on month end, you can have your free time and relaxed time to think, sit and think about what your next course of action, whether to take other job or to live with this, whether to take other job or to sustain in the existing job for a longer term to see better benefits, right? So these things you can always see. Otherwise, you will be more worried about your paycheck at the end of every month. A man with savings can afford to resign from his job if his principals so dictate. It's always true, right? If you want to just leave your job and you don't like the way the company is working, the way the job is teaching you or what you are learning from it, or the company is going against your wishes, you can always resign and find a better job. That's true. But if you don't have money, yeah, you'll live that life which is kind of almost hell. A man who can afford to quit is much more useful to his company and therefore more promotable. He can afford to give his company the benefits of his most candid judgment. This is also true because if you are independent in terms of money and when you are giving your opinions, you don't have to stick with other people who are going to give you promotion or who are going to give you benefit in the salary or anything. You can have your independent judgment because you have that ability that if they go against you also you can live your life happily. A man always concerned about necessities such as food and rent can't afford to think in long range career terms. He must dart to the most immediate opportunity for ready cash. Without savings he will spend a lifetime of darting and dodging. A man with savings can afford the wonderful privilege of being generous in family or neighborhood emergencies. He can take a level stare into the eyes of any man, friend, stranger, or enemy. It can shape his personality and character. If you have enough money for your living, you don't have to worry about what other people think and what other people speak to you, right? You can always stand way in front of them and say that what you want to say without fearing what they're gonna do to you. That's most important thing in living a peaceful and happy life. The ability to save has nothing to do with the size of income. Many high income people who spend it all are on the treadmill darting through life like minnows. This is true. You can see in cities people who are earning less than 15,000 per month or 20,000 per month is able to save 5 10,000 to for their future requirements, or keeping that money in bank or FD or maybe for chits, so that after a year or 1.5 year or 2 years they can take that money and spend it in a large for purchase of gold or purchase of land, or they are building their home, they can build that home. So this is how, irrespective of your income, it's always matters how you are going to save the money. It's not about how much is your income. We know many people who are having lakhs in a month, and in the end they even search for 1 rupee or 5,000, 10,000. They don't have enough money to reach their next paycheck. They take loans for those 5,000, 10,000 through credit cards. That's very bad habit to live in that situation. The dean of American bankers, JP Morgan, once advised a young banker, take waste out of your spending, you will drive haste out of your life. Will Rogers put it this way: I would rather have the company of a janitor living on what he earned last year than an actor spending what he will earn next year. This is exactly true if you listen this story. There's a story of a janitor who lives in US university, and he worked all his life, almost 30 plus years, as a janitor in that university, and he was living very meager life. His earnings are also very less, but every month without miss, whatever he takes paycheck, he'll take for his living, and remaining amount he spent it as a he invested in the large cap funds of US companies. And then when he died at the age of 60, 70, or whatever his age, the he does not have any family. So he has written in his will that whatever his savings are there will go to that university where he worked. In that way, he was able to donate millions into that university. You can see that many of the graduates of that university may not have had so much of earnings when they are dying or when they are retiring, but this janitor on the other side who was earning a meager little bit of money, and he was able to, in that a very tiny portion of it, he invested into large cap for a long number of years, for almost 30 40 years, and he was able to donate almost 6 million, if I'm not wrong, to the same university. So that's how, irrespective of how much you earn, it's always important to see how you are spending your earned money. That's more important. If you don't need money for college or home or retirement, then save for self confidence. The state of your savings does have a lot to do with how tall you walk. Hope you could relate to each statement, and this note makes you to look for ways to increase your savings. Stay in and save more. Thank you.